Hi guys, welcome to another P3D version 5 video brought to you by Blasp. We are once again continuing our DC slash McDonnell Douglas theme, and we'll be flying the DC-3 today. And there is a couple of different DC-3s for P3D, but we are at least today gonna try the Airplane Heaven one. And I've flown it a couple of times. It's quite a nice aircraft, maybe a bit light on the systems, but I would say generally one of the best ones you can get for P3D version 5. And it's for free, so no payware. So in that sense it's great. Or it was originally payware, but now it's freeware. And as you can see, we have a nice PBR, we have a nice buffalo livery, and we are up now in Merlin Carter Airport, Hay River I guess it's called. Unfortunately it's not the best. This is some freeware version I found. I tried to tweak it a bit, had some cool things like the Commando, the Electra and stuff, but yeah, not the best. But it will do for today's video. And what else? The DC-3 old airplane from 1930s, big seller, I think around 3,000, probably a lot more. They also made the C-47, which was then converted to a civilian version. I'm pretty sure Buffalo flies those versions, so not a proper DC-3 in that sense. But hey, they partook in the Normandy D-Day landings and stuff, so they have a rich history. We're gonna jump into the cockpit. Quite a nice cockpit, also pretty good looking. An old school, I think it's Perry autopilot or something like that. But you can also put in some Garmin's if you want to, some radar. But I'm gonna use that one, the other Garmin, so I can also use the autopilot. Also a bit of the inside is actually showed. I do not think though, let me check. I do not think we have anything on the inside of the cabin, no. So no inside cabin. But I do think you can kind of see it on the outside, so I kind of managed to open that. And you can open it with click spots, so that's quite nice. Let me see if you have that cabin from the from the outside, if it's somewhat. Yes, we have something, but as you can see, not really properly done. Some sort of weird mix with cargo and packs. So yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into that, a bit weird. But hey, other than that, the plane works quite well. Let's see also if we can kind of get the plane to start. I've had some issues with that sometimes, but hopefully it will work this time. I'm also because I'm gonna be flying with my virtual airline, Buffalo Airways, hence the Buffalo livery. So I'm gonna fly. I'm just gonna start the PIREP, or not the PIREP, but the flight tracking through the ACAR system, provided by TFDI. And yeah, anything else? Not much else. Let's see how it goes. I should be quite okay. Unless we have troubles with starting the plane, but let's see. We'll keep a positive attitude. Before we start with that though, we want to kind of put in our flight plan, which I prepared through SimBrief. So what we're gonna do excuse me. What we're gonna do first, we're gonna load that, and there's no load kind of manager, at least not what I remember, so we'll just have to load it through P3D, and I'm just gonna open on the side so we can kind of see it. We don't need a lot of fuel. I don't think we needed all the auxiliary ones. Let me see if we can go to 0 with those. Yeah, that should be sufficient. Then we have a gross weight of 25. We can go a bit down, I think, on those. So I'm just gonna decrease it a bit. We should be maybe a bit more also. Let's see. That should be perfect, I think. So there we go. You can see the fuel on board here through the RXP Garmin 650, I think this version is called. And let's see then. I think what we can do actually first. I haven't started the battery yet, but I have this one on always, so I can kind of do the flight plan before I start doing any of these other things. Since, you know, if I have to restart the aircraft, now I'm not sure actually if it will say the flight plan, but we shall see. Hopefully, but we'll just have to try and see. Okay, let's see. We can load procedure, departure. No, so there's no departure to load from Merlin Carter Airport. But what we can do is we can kind of already put in a waypoint, and I think we don't really have any waypoints in our flight plan apart from the actual airport itself, so I'm gonna just check if I can find some waypoint on our way. Nakto, maybe that could be a good one to put. That's like precisely on our route. So we're doing that, Nakto, and then we have to put in the airport. And let's do, I'm hoping that they gave us the ILS, I'm pretty sure they did, which is 34, right? So let's see with that, and then we do load procedure, arrival. Oh yeah, there's no arrival, but there should be, yeah, for ILS, and then I think E-group is the one I usually use. We can also try that on the pilot to ATC and just check that we're getting the right one. I'm gonna import the flight plan. So let's see. Some other things that could be good to know, specifically if you watched my last video with the PMDG DC-3, is that this one, I don't think you can control the carburetor air. Like, there's some deficiency that doesn't make it like a full study level simulator, but it's okay. Good enough, I guess you can say. So we're gonna put in Nakto. I'm just putting it into pilot to ATC. I'll show you kind of our flight plans. There's Nakto, and there we have Yellowknife. I do have a payware airport for Yellowknife, so that's pretty cool. I think it's made by Project Max. I do not yet have a photoreal for Northwestern Territories. We will just be Orbex, but there is some available now. I just saw. I've been thinking about buying. So if I start to fly here a bit more, I might buy that, but it's around 30 USD, so it's quite expensive. But you do get Autogen at the same time, so that's nice. Okay, and then we can do the approach, and I think it was E-group. That should be the one we should take. So let me just see if I can. Yeah. So now we have a quite nice flight plan. So what I'll do is I'll connect to the sim. Let me see, I think we have Edmonton is the one we should probably, I'm gonna file and see what happens. So 142, we're just gonna change to the Logitech radio panels. Oh, sorry, there we go. I think this should work, but let's see. If not, we'll just not use pilot to ATC. That's always an option. And I think we're kind of ready. I'm just gonna quickly put on packs so we can also see our landing rate through that one. We are doing that, and I think I'm just gonna check quickly what the altitude is. So we're not gonna fly too high today, 9,000 feet. And then we have the DC-3, we'll just do 11 passengers. I don't think we have any specific boarding music, so I'll just do someone. Maybe we can do... Which one has a nice one? I think Delta is quite nice. And then safety, we can just do generic. I think I have a generic one. Okay, and then we start setting up this plane. The props are fully on increased. We need to put that on outer ridge. What else? I think you're supposed to move that. I'm gonna open that gear latch thingy. I think you can have it locked, or yeah, it's indifferent. I haven't really figured out how that one works, or at least I haven't noticed too much of a difference. We can put these cowl flaps on open, and that's basically these that are around the engine, if I'm not mistaken. So now they're fully open, and then they can close. And I guess those kinda regulate the heat, or help regulate the heat of the cylinders.
Welcome aboard. This is your flight attendant.
If I'm not mistaken. We can put on our batteries maybe first. We do have batteries, that's nice. Position lights. Let me check what else. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna go down a bit. Beacon lights. And then we can start the engines. I'm pretty sure the pre-flight will start very soon. Maybe I can ask for clearance first. Buffalo 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance. Yeah, we got the clearance now.
We're ready to go when you are.
Let me see if we have the right
Buffalo 4003 is cleared to Charlie Yankee Zulu Foxtrot as filed.
Yeah, there we go.
And maintain 5,000 feet. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes
Okay,
after
let's see.
departure.
And now we're waiting for the
Squawk 6204.
6204. There we go. We have the squawk. That's nice.
We'll contact you for IFR release. Buffalo 4003.
Okay, I'm gonna close that one. We have parking brakes on. That's good.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We could ask for assistance, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna start.
Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in
let's
airplane
see.
mode
We'll
and your
do
large
it the
devices
right.
are
So
now
I think the way you do this, you put the primer on. These ones should be on both. That one is pushed in.
Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure.
You start the booster pumps. And then the way you do it on this one is you do the mesh. And then you do the energizer. So now it should be starting. Let's see if we have any luck. No luck yet. Maybe I now remember what I didn't do actually, so let's hope we didn't mess this up. I think I forgot actually to put in the... I'm just gonna close the primer as well. I forgot to put the main tanks on. We're gonna be fine with those, we don't have the auxiliaries. So with that set, then we can give a bit of throttle. Then we can do the primer. So that would be on the right one. Then the right booster pump. Then we do the mesh. And now we're doing the energizer. And now we should kind of see it starting. There we go. And now you see the smoke. You can also see it here on the... Let me see here, sorry. That's the landing gear pressure gauge, but it will also start going up. There we go. We have a good engine start on the right engine.
Although you already may be
the left
familiar
one
with
once,
many of these
since we're at it.
procedures, we'd appreciate appreciate your attention during this
Close the
important
right
safety
boost pump.
briefing. Safety starts with your
Mesh.
seatbelt. Whenever the seatbelt light is turned on, your seatbelt
Energizer.
must be fastened low and tight across your lap. Simply slide the middle
Let's
end into the
listen.
buckle and adjust by pulling on the loose end of the
You can
strap.
see the
Release the
RPMs
buckle
go up.
to release. During the
There we go. And there we go, we have the right engine starting. So that's nice. I like this tower. I guess there's supposed to be some sort of humans here, these black spots, but it looks a bit funny.
each marked
Okay,
with the red and
and
white
there we go.
exit
Now we have
signs.
that one.
Now
Now I'm
would be
gonna
a good
see, I
time
think
to
the way
take
you
a
do it
moment and
is you
locate
press
the
that.
two
I'm just going
exits
to
nearest
close
you.
because I have this one
Keeping in mind that
connected.
your nearest exit may be behind you.
So I'm just going to
All
kill
doors
switch
are
that
equipped
one.
with evacuation slide rafts, which
And the
may
weird
be
part, I
detached
think it's
and
you
used as
put it back
flotation
and then you have
devices.
nose wheel steering, or back wheel,
Evacuation.
tail wheel steering.
Cabin
It's
visibility
weird.
is reduced. Aisle path lighting will
Weird way
illuminate.
it works.
A change in colour or exit
Okay, we
sign
don't
will
need the booster
indicate you
pump
have
anymore.
reached an exit. Our cabin is pressurised at a comfortable rate.
The position
If we
light, oh I have them
experience
off,
a
this
sudden
should be on.
decrease of cabin pressure, an oxygen
The
mask will
landing
appear
lights,
from
I'm
the
going to use
compartment
taxi
above your
lights,
seat.
put them on.
Reach up and pull the mask towards you to start the flow
We
of
can put the
oxygen.
heaters on. I guess we
Place
put
the
that
mask
just
over your
before
nose and
takeoff.
mouth and tighten the elastic band around your head by pulling on either side and breathe normally.
Think the inverters
Although
on.
oxygen will flow through the mask, the plastic bag may not inflate.
We don't need the
Remember to
lights.
put your mask on before helping other passengers. Life vests are located in
Let me
plastic
see
bags
what else.
beneath or in some cases between the
I think
seats.
the rest is looking
Pull on the
quite good.
fabric strap to release the vest.
We should probably
Pull
check
it over
what's
your
the
head while
altimeter.
placing your arms through the side
Use
strap.
active CYHY
Pull the strap firmly to
3001.
expose the back panel and tighten
Under
by
the
pulling
pushback
out on the
clearance.
yellow tabs.
Buffalo
Inflate just prior to
4003,
exiting the
ready
aircraft
for
by pulling
pushback.
the red tabs or by manually blowing through the tubes at shoulder level. The night locator can be illuminated by pulling on the marked tab. Every
Buffalo
member of our crew is highly trained in
4003,
emergency
ready for
procedures.
pushback.
For everyone's safety, please follow all crew member instructions
Oh, maybe we
and
can't do it.
observe
Let me
posted
see.
and lighted information
Contacts for
signs.
IFR release when number 1
Please
for
remember,
departure. Okay, yeah,
smoking
because
is
we
not
don't,
permitted on this aircraft. All of our
Since we have
lavatories
manned
are
airport
equipped with smoke detection systems
for
and
some
federal
reason.
law
So what I'm
prohibits
gonna do
tampering
is I'm
with,
just gonna
disabling or destroying these systems. The use of personal
do
cellular
IFR
telephones
release.
is permitted on board while the aircraft door is open.
So let me
When the
see here
aircraft door is
quickly.
closed, your phone
Anything
must
else
be
I need to
turned off
set?
for the
Yeah,
duration
this
of
one
the
we can
flight.
put in trail. And you'll see now they're closing a bit, these cold flaps on both engines.
Just when the use of
That's
approved
pretty cool.
devices such as
And
personal
let's see now if we
computers
can
and
turn
compact
this ship.
displayers
So
is
basically the
permitted.
differential
A complete
braking.
list of approved
So I
devices
would
may
want
be
to
found
put on
in
the
the
right
magazine
engine quite a
located
bit
in the
higher
seatback pocket in front of you.
to kind of get that one to
We'll be
push.
taking off momentarily, so please make sure that your tray tables, seat backs and footrests are in
And we
their
just see
upright
now
and
if
stowed
we are...
position, and that all carry-on baggage is properly stowed, either in
Or
the
should I have
overhead
left
bins
it in
or
the...
under the seat
It's
in
always a
front
bit...
of you. Remember that the overhead bins should be opened slowly
We need
and
to gather a
carefully,
bit of
as the
speed.
contents may shift around during the flight. We also recommend that all passengers take a moment to review
Yeah,
the
actually I left it
illustrations
like
provided
that,
in the
so that
safety
makes
Go ahead,
information
flight tech.
card, which you will find in the seatback
I'll just
pocket.
kill switch that. So now we're able to... we just kinda were able to avoid touching the building.
Thank you for your attention and
Probably not to
cooperation.
incorrect
All of us
procedures
at
there,
this
but
airline appreciate the opportunity
that works.
of showing you how
Okay, so now
committed
we're on
we
our
are to
way.
making this
Some cool
and
things,
every
of course.
flight
You can
as
see
safe
kind of the
and as
outside.
comfortable as
You will
possible.
see the engine. You'll see the front. I've been able to get the windshield effects to work, so that's really cool. We are taking off from runway 32, so that will be the one. We can just go straight and then to the left. So let me see with this IFR release how it works. Buffalo 4003, ready for IFR release. Wait, maybe it's the wrong, I think.
Cabin is ready.
Oh, I did say ready for...
Buffalo 4003 ready for IFR release runway 32 and Charlie Yankee Hotel Yankee.
Okay, and there's the release. I needed to say the runway, so that was a bit of a mistake. Let me put on the booster pumps. We have the landing lights on. We're also gonna set the the flaps here to the first stage. We will do the trim a bit. You can see it down here. That should be sufficient. Sorry for coughing. Okay, let's see.
Release for departure point at 18:52. Wilco Buffalo 4003.
I should check left and right, but I'm just gonna check from the outside. I think we are clear. Let's see, we have quite a heavy overcast, so I'm wondering a bit how the landing will go. We do have ILS though. Overcast at 2,100 feet. We should be sufficiently okay. Hopefully at least. Let me see though. Was the altimeter that big of a difference between the airports? This one was 3, yeah, so it's a bit lower. The barometric pressure. Okay, and now we're just kind of taxied to the end. We turn the aircraft around. And we get ready. As you can see, unfortunately, these position lights are way too bright during the day. I need to tweak that. You can tweak the configuration file to make them less bright. Just need to find the time to do that. Okay, so anything else we need to kind of do before? I'm gonna put that one up. I think I usually do that. But I'm not sure. Like, my thinking has always been that you would put that up when you want to like pull the gear up, and that's kind of a lock for the gear, and then this one sort of opens it or something. But I'm not really sure how it works. This might be hydraulics as well. But I'm just doing what I saw some YouTuber do quite a while back, so following wrong procedures and continuing the, I guess, the the bad teaching in that regard. Okay, let's see now. Oh, almost reached for my tiller. Too used to flying them jets. No, but let's see now. I'm gonna give a bit more on the right engine so we can kind of get this turn in. And like, as you can see, when we turn, you see that one is turning, but we don't really, like, these ones are just going straight, right? So yeah, quite a different experience to, I can imagine, to fly a tail dragging aircraft compared to one with a nose wheel. Okay, and we are ready for takeoff, I would say. Let me just double check though, all the values looking good. If we're flying now with the Buffalo Airways, what's his name, Joe? I guess he wouldn't be too happy with any mistakes we made, but let's say we're not flying with him. Booster pumps are on, so that's good, that's good. Bit of heats, yeah, like that. Passing light. That. Right, I'm just gonna check. Did that change the color? Yeah, it did change the color a bit. Maybe that's some sort of taxi. I'm just gonna go down a bit, and then we have the fuselage. I guess that's the lighting from the fuselage itself. I don't think we need that. Okay. So ready for takeoff. I think it's around 80 knots. The takeoff or the rotate speed, so let's keep that in mind. We're gonna lock the tail wheel, and then we'll slowly start taking off. Let's see how this goes. So far so good. I'm pushing a bit forward now with the yoke in order to get some more rudder authority in. And we are taking off 100 knots. I can trim it out a bit more. We are, I would say, soon gonna bring up the gear. As you can see, it's being brought up now. And I'll also go to flap 0. I think we can bring off the landing lights with this one already. We'll trim it a bit. But yeah, it's a beautiful aircraft, the DC-3. I must say though, like the orbit doesn't look too bad up in these areas where it's mostly forests. But it's like when you get to the mountainous parts, it's quite dull with the land class. I mean, land class looks fine down here, but immediately when you get a bit further up, you're starting to see kind of the deficiencies with it. Okay, so this is good. We are maintaining quite an okay. Let me just see. I'm gonna put on the autopilot. And I think we're now flying. Yeah, we now have the heading. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna drop our vertical speed a bit. We're going up to 9,000 feet. You control it through this one. Generally, I can also say with this one, I kind of like how it is taxiing and stuff. I think that's really good. The flying, I think, is okay-ish. Maybe feels a bit too nimble. But it might have been that in real life though, so please keep that in mind. I'm gonna turn a bit to the right, just so we're following correctly. And now let's see, so the way I've noticed you want to do this, you want to decrease a bit the props. So if you want to climb fast. A bit more, we want it around 22 if I'm not mistaken. So we decrease a bit, and then you put these on. What we should actually do then, because I'm pretty sure these are the super charger or something similar, but I just kind of like to do this to get the speed up quite a bit. I think we can bring back the prop sinks a bit more. Let me see, the climb is still a bit too high, so I'm gonna force it down a bit. Now you can see we're climbing a bit less fast. Let me just decrease the sound a bit. Hopefully it also have an impact on the video recording. We're going to close the booster pumps, we won't need those for now. And what we can do, I'm trying to think, maybe we do have the... I'm wondering if we have the Buffalo. Okay, we're getting the A to Z now. Our speed is increasing. I'm just gonna decrease our what we call it, ascent rate. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do charge fox. So I'm just gonna see if we have Yellowknife here. I think we have it here on the 3.4. We have localizer 1095. 340. It's the heading we'll have, of course. 672, 872 is the minimums. 1095, 340, and I'm gonna put it into my, trying to figure out what the radios are, but I guess they are controlled with this one. Possibly, maybe these one will actually show our so let's see, so there we have I think now we have an active one of 1095. I think it's the other way around. some reason. Let me just check if 580 is the right. Yeah, 9000. Perfect. And then in terms of like getting the right for the ILS, I think the way you do it. And now I need to think a bit. This is some old school systems. We're a bit high on the manifold pressure. I'm gonna lower that a bit. So the way you do that, maybe I can put the radio altitude as well. So that's around 10. Say that's 9. Around there, I guess. For minimums. I'm thinking it should be this one. So put that on 340. And there we should kind of be. I'm just gonna check here quickly what's our fuel situation looking. So the mains are looking good, the auxiliaries are empty. We can turn a bit to the left. Not a lot, but a bit. And I'm gonna check now what we have. We have around 40 minutes, so that's quite a while still before we get to the airport. But I think I can soon switch to a lean mix. Let's see. I think on these engines, let me see what do we have. We have off and close. Maybe we keep them on trail for now. I'm wondering if you close them once you're in cruise. Maybe. I do also have the watch here. I don't think that's working though. So it's it's quite a good model, I would say. One of my favorite airplane heavy models, but it does fall short in some departments, unfortunately. But it's nice for these kind of flights, you know, you're just flying like a short flight with the Buffalo, enjoying the view. And I kind of like with the Buffalo Virtual Airways is that, or the virtual airline, is that it's kind of, how would you say, it gives kind of a lot of possibilities. Specifically in the sense that you do, or possibility is the wrong word, but it has kind of a nice system so that you don't get too many planes to start off from, and then once you progress you get more planes basically. So that's pretty nice, if I'm being honest. Let's see, our FPS are getting really beaten by this add-on now for some reason. And now they're better. But on the outside, yeah. I'm wondering if it's this because I'm using Rex Air clouds now. I changed to them just because I wanted to, because they do look a bit better. I don't think you can see it here, but it's really cool. It's, I would say, the next best thing after volumetric. I'm actually going to Google on that. It's an interesting question. Bad FX, Rex, Skyforce, clouds, maybe. I see if like a lot of people have the problem. Check how this is basically how it looks, the Rex one. I'm not using the weather engine, I'm just using the in-sync engines, then some clouds. Could of course be all these extra overcast densities and stuff. These could be really like taxing on the system. But it's quite nice otherwise, I would say. Let me see if we have some here on global settings, right? These are weather, but here we have clouds. I'm not sure. They're on cloud settings. Cloud coverage. Not finding anything. I'm not using the craziest textures. Only HD ones. I don't want to modify these ones yet. Could be a way to kind of put them down in texture a bit. I'll have to see a bit how this works with other add-on aircraft. But okay, we're still going quite nicely. We are soon reaching 9,000. So I'm just going to continue to decrease a bit our climb. We are going quite slow. So what I'll do is I'll already go to lean. Let's see if this works. It's a bit of a work with me now. Climb a bit. There we go. Now we should be getting a bit more speed. I'm gonna put back the props. Maybe we can actually give a bit more of it. Let's see. We should soon be at 9. Still about 32 minutes left. We are not seeing anything but clouds, unfortunately. I guess the forecast around 11,000.
Leave your picture available for a small charge. If you wish to make an additional purchase, note that we only accept credit cards.
But now we're still reaching the level we want. Let's see what happened now with the autopilot. I managed by mistake to press the the altitude hold on my Logitech. Hold it down. We're gonna expedite the climb so I need to get to 9,000. Let's see, forecast was 11,000. I will soon get out of this. Let's hope at least. It's really boring to fly in overcast. At least after a while. It's good though for IFR. Yeah, let's see. We are kinda nicely setting in now. Speed is increasing. 180 knots or miles per hour. Let me see what's the DC saying in terms of our speed. 155 is our indicated airspeed. I guess this is miles per hour then. I do wonder, I don't think I ever checked. Miles per hour. Knots. So 1 mile per hour is a bit less, a bit more than 1 knot. The knot is around 0.86 of 1 mile per hour. So that's good to know. Now we are still going. Our first waypoint coming up. This will be a short flight. It just kind of feels a bit longer, specifically because we are going quite slow, and since we can't really see anything in this overcast. I'm wondering though what Rex is really taxing on. Is it the CPU? No. Ah, but it's really taxing on the GPU. That's incredibly interesting. I don't think I've ever had anything be that taxing on the GPU, and I have a 390, so that's super interesting actually. Gonna check quickly live graphics, see if there's anything. Maybe with the clouds cast. Maybe I should bring down them and not a bit like the clouds. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna check what's the yellow knife. Overcast that. What are we flying? I'm guessing it's multiple layers. So multiple layers of overcast. We can't see either up or down. We just see more clouds. One thing I also prefer with P3D compared to X-Plane is that when you fly through clouds, they don't get like pixelated. It just feels like a better effect. Okay, back into the cockpit. Okay, we're soon reaching Nakto. I'm gonna check what the height of the seat of the descent is. It's probably gonna be quite late. Yeah, it's about halfway from Nakto to Igro, where we'll have to descend to 4,000 feet. So let's keep that in mind. Turn a bit to the left so we get more. Let me see if all the settings here. Let me see wheels, up or down, and button or wallet, but not in loop. So what I'm wondering if I do this, what happens? Ah, there, that's the gear lever. Okay, that's... Maybe you want to put it all the way up. Let me just check. This is interesting. So now we're putting it up. We have that to the highest gear latch. Still the red one. Not sure how it works. Oh, it's not close like that. It's up in the way. Okay, slowly and steadily progressing. Anything else I can say about this airplane that might be interesting to know? I think it has the working oxygen regulator. Or at least you can press some buttons around there. I haven't seen icing on the windshield though, so I'm not sure that's emulated. We have an ADF radio, so that's cool. Maybe it's possible to open the roof, but I don't seem to be able to do it, so I guess it's not. You can open the windows, like this. Quite cold from this height. And then let me see what else. What else? Don't think there's much else to see in the cockpit. I mean, you have the hydraulic system, reservoir. Up selector, takeoff, gyro. Here you have, I guess these are nav aids, probably a really old one. Transmitter tuning units. A camera, old school. That's a bit sad, so I feel like, yeah. So close to being a really nice model cockpit. But I'll probably fly at some point the Manfred John DC-3, the PBR version, then you can kind of compare. The only gripe I have with that one is that the taxiing is like quite, it's tied to like the rudder, so it's not really like the differential braking that you have to do with this one. And that it feels quite, the flying mode doesn't feel so nice actually. Was that some thunder? Are we having thunder? God, I had that in my DC-6 flight as well, but I don't... Maybe it was just the light kind of breaking through. But let's see. Okay. The progress is still quite nice, 19 minutes left. Still can't see anything outside. Let's check our fuel levels, because we want to check those all the time. Real file probably writing them up, checking them against some specific parameters, making sure it's not too low or too high. And then, let me see what else. Anything else we need to check? I don't think so. I know we remember it was 2993 was the barometric pressure at Yellowknife. So unfortunately not that much to do now. We've been able to set it up quite nice. We're a bit high. So I'm gonna try to descend a bit to get back to 9,000 feet. We have about 50 nautical miles to go, so we have gone about halfway. I think it's about 100 nautical miles between Burning Carter and Yellowknife. We're like way up north in Canada, like this is... Well, I guess it's about the same part of the globe that Finland and Sweden is, I think. Actually, that's an interesting one. I'm gonna check on a map now. Map on Google. Before we look at the map, I'm just gonna try to balance this airplane out a bit. So we don't descend too much, we don't want to be like bouncing up and down all the time. I'm just gonna check Google Maps. I see a bit how high. So there was Sweden. I mean, these aren't perfect. Yellowknife is around here. So let's see, maybe if we go to... Try to check, maybe we can check it to latitude. So around, there on Stockholm is around 59, 62 Yellowknife. And I mean, I was recently up in, yeah, it was around 60, so yeah, a bit north I guess, but nothing that crazy. Helsinki is around 60. Stockholm is south, 9. Okay. Let me see now what's happening. Oh, we're climbing again, that's why they're asking us to descend. Well, look at that. We are out of the clouds. For a brief moment. But the clouds look really good, I must say, for being through the clouds. I'll give I'll give Rex Skyforce a bit of points for that. They do make a really nice overcast. This is much better than the Aska or Active Sky. Let me see, Active Sky Cloud Art. Than what they're able to kind of bring. This makes me not regret having switched back to 2D clouds. Let's see, we're also a bit off course. So we are going to turn a bit to the right. And now we're of course going too much. God, it's hard to get this one to keep the this one thinks we're a bit off course. Maybe a tiny bit off course, I guess. We are climbing, but slowly. But yeah, here you can kind of see the, I would say, the negatives with land class. It looks so much better here than compared to cities, but you do have certain areas. I'm trying to see if we have good examples of it, but it does look pretty good up here. I'm gonna give it that. But it's like these kind of areas, a bit like, what is this supposed to be, some sort of rocky place where it's you know, it's just like kind of looks the same, not at all like the real world. Where did the sun go? Oh, it was just a bit lighter, but now it went a bit darker. Okay, they're giving us headings, but we are kind of, I think we are kind of correct. And we are climbing, albeit slowly. I'm actually gonna bring the props down a bit so we can let's see what's going on now. Really low manifold pressure. And then let me see, I'm gonna go too close. See, I'm going to get this manifold pressure to work. I just have to readjust my chair. It sometimes kind of breaks the spring or whatever it's called. There we go. I think my chair should be good now. Or I guess this is the spring that kind of goes, that kind of locks the chair so it doesn't go up and down. That sometimes go loose. It's quite funny but annoying. Okay, let's see now. Distance 22 nautical miles. We are soon getting on the top of our descent, but I'm not sure about this manifold pressure thing. I'm not sure why I don't. Doesn't really help with those. Let me just.
Expedite climb to 900,000 feet, Buffalo 4003.
Let me just see. Yeah, both engines are still working, so that's good. Not seeing anything weird. But I'm not getting the manifold pressure that I want. And we are on lean. So I'm just gonna think a bit. Potentially, I mean, I closed the valves now, but I guess that's not gonna make too much of a difference. That would just be. We are losing speed quite rapidly, actually. So what I'm I'm wondering is if we could... something isn't working. I'm gonna guess the props. I'm gonna bring the props up. Give us a bit more RPMs. That should give us some speed. Still low manifold pressure though. Potentially it could be going to lean, right? But let's see now. I think we're gonna get a bit of an increase in speed. It's slowly going up now, so I guess it was a bit of me keeping the RPMs, giving the props too low, decreasing that RPM. Okay. Now let's see. We'll soon be on top of descent. Gotta have this annoying fly also flying around me, trying to kill it whilst filming this. Not the easiest. But okay, we're getting speed now. Kind of figured out. I'm gonna see though, are we a bit high on RPMs? I think we're a bit high. We are in the green segment, but a bit high. Okay, and we can start descending a bit because we are high. And we don't have any flaps. That's good. At least not any that I can see. I need to have a look at the Rex thing just with the FPS. I'm really worried I'm going to be flying like the FS labs, the Airbus, and then it's going to be like huge laggy. Just because of the... Because basically the GPU will be so pushed to the limit. But hopefully not. Okay, expedite descent. We'll expedite it a bit. I think we can kind of soon start our proper descent. I'm actually going to start now because I think they're a bit late. So we'll decrease a bit the manifold one. I don't think you want to decrease it too much though.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing
I
through the
think this
cabin
should
to
be
let you
okay.
pass one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and
And the
secure
way
full
we can
upright
do this
position.
also
Please also
is
store any
increase
carry-on
our
items either in the seat
props
back
a
pocket
bit.
or under the seat cushion.
We're now descending. We want to cross Ekrop at 4,000 feet, I think they said. And then for the ILS, which we should be able to see here. So quite an old school way. I'm just gonna... I'm trying to remember now, how did you kind of remove this... There we go. Now I don't have that yoke in the way. Okay, let's see if I can do a nice landing with this one. Kind of like this plane. And the landings with it. Because you go with the front wheels first, right? And then you drop down the tail. And it's quite a slow approach compared to jets. Okay, so still going good. We'll soon do a right turn. But we need to descend a lot more actually now, I'm seeing. I think this is about the max you can descend. I don't think you'll be descending as much with this sort of aircraft as you would with, for example, a jet. I'm guessing, you have some limitations, right? Okay, let me think. We can actually close, I think when you're descending, you can close those cowl flaps, so you'll see these ones will be fully closed now on both sides. At least they are closing. Then I'm gonna put on the booster pumps just so I don't forget to do that. Same with the landing lights. We've got clearance for the ILS approach, that's nice.
Cleared for the ILS approach to runway 34 with lead drop transition Buffalo 4003.
You can kind of start turning already, just because it's gonna be hard for us to turn. Sorry, wait, this is the right way. At least we'll turn a bit towards the the correct waypoint, but we want to turn actually quite a bit to the left. I think it usually gives some example of how much we should turn, so like the direction. But let's see, because we want to go quite nicely, and we're going to be around 2,800 feet once we get there. So let's see, I think this should be a pretty solid. I do not think the autopilot allows to capture a glide slope. Let me check. Yeah, nothing like that. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of try to follow it manually, basically. Okay. Let's think. I think the runway height was around 600 feet. We have the minimums at around 800 feet. We will be we'll be at around 2,800.
Altimeter is 29905, tower on 118.5 Buffalo 4003.
So we can actually now stop descending for a while.
Tower Buffalo 4003 inbound for ILS approach runway 34.
Okay, LS approach, runway 34. The way we'll do this, I think, we'll turn a bit too much to the right and then turn in.
ILS approach to runway 34 will call when established on final Buffalo 4003.
Okay, when established on final we can call. I'm gonna bring down these prop levers a bit more. That kind of works well to lose speed. Like that. And now we can kind of start to turn to the left. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. 0 should be our, let's do 360 around, so that's 0. We're a bit low, but that should be fine. We should be able to manage that. Flying beautifully. Let's see, now we're starting to see the ground a bit, so that's nice. Getting some visual cues, which will help. We'll soon be on the localizer, which will also help. I'm trying to think, I think it's quite low, it's around 120 miles per hour, so you can start lowering all these. Let's do 340 now. So we get on the localizer quite nicely. Oh, almost. Quite perfectly. Now I have manual controls, my controls I guess they would say. And then let's try to follow the localizer. I'm gonna just see if I can put this in a better position. I want to put it, I think, a bit down, so you just can see a bit more of our flight panels. I can see once you're flying like this a bit, I can see kind of why some people like to stay with the 2D panels, because I mean, it is kind of 2D like this if you're not flying VR, right? You're just having the panels right, the runway, maybe seeing a bit of the outside visuals. I mean, I see a bit more because I have the side screens as well. But if you would only be flying with the screen that I'm showing you guys. Okay, so we're holding quite nicely. We are descending though a bit too fast, so I'm gonna arrest our descent and hope the glide slope can come down. beautiful Canada. Never been actually, but hoping to go at some point. I've flown over Canada though. Well, that's the closest I've been. Flew to Chicago, Illinois once. Or as a passenger then, to clarify. There we can see the runway. We see the puppy lights in the distance. The weather is looking spectacular. Really like this overcast by Rex. This is, I guess this is peak 2D clouds. I don't think X-Plane 11 had these good ones. They have some okay ones, but I wasn't a big fan of the X-Plane 11 clouds. Okay, gonna trim it a bit. I am gonna assume that we can kind of drop our landing gear. So I'm gonna do that. I think that should be up like this, but yeah. Let's see. And we are a bit off now, so I'm gonna go a bit to the left. So we'll be losing a bit of speed now since we have dropped the landing gear. And what we should also be thinking of is the flaps. I think we can bring the props down a bit more. Lose a bit more speed. I guess what we don't want to have is lean. So not emergency, but lean. Sorry, not emergency, but outrage. Those we want to set in motion, and then we don't need these ones. So now we're dropping a bit more in speed. We have the booster pumps on. I don't think we want these on close. I think trail will be sufficient for landing. We are a bit to the right of the localizer. Luckily it's quite easy to stabilize things with this. I'm gonna bring us up a bit more. Now we have one yellow puppy. I'm gonna go on the first flaps now. We're around 120-ish. I'm gonna call it established on final. Buffalo 4003 established on final. 324 and 1705. High winds, but we are going in the right direction in that sense. Okay, let's see. And we can be going really slow actually. So now we are a bit high maybe, not too much. Here you can see kind of what I don't like about the land class. It just looks odd. I'm sure it's something to do also with the Project Max yellow knife, but it's just not a good look. Okay, let's see. We are a bit low now. It's quite hard, but the puppies are looking good still. So let's see. I'm gonna go a bit higher on flaps, and then leave the final one just before touchdown. Okay, let's see. We are quite stabilized. The funny thing you can see with these kind of planes is that it's much easier to do things when things happen more slowly, which is the reason why you have multi-crew cockpits, right? It's hard to do everything at once by yourself. Okay, let's see, it's still looking good. What I'll do is I'll go to flaps full. I'm gonna do it a bit earlier than I would like, just to kind of make sure we get this right. Now we should be back quite nicely on the glide slope. I think we're quite correct, even though it's saying that we are a bit high. I don't think we can go much lower. We'll be hitting the treetops, unfortunately. Maybe the puppies are lying a bit. So let's see now. Okay, and now we should soon be touching down. There we go. It's a bit of a bouncy one. Let it bounce a bit. I'm gonna try to bring that tail down. There we go. Tail is down. Let's use the rudder to still have some speed. We can kind of go down all the runway. I'm gonna put the props to full.
The local time is 11:29 a.m. and it's currently about
So you can really just, you know, go down this whole full length of the...
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete
Still use
stop
the...
and
If you're going
signs
fast
turn
enough
off.
for me to use
Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins.
the rudder to control the airplane.
Thank you for flying with us.
Let's see, now I'm gonna use the brakes a bit more. You see, when I'm using the brakes, I'm lifting the butt up a bit, or the tail. The butt of the airplane, the tail of the airplane. I'm seeing now why they call it the tail and not the butt. Sounds a bit weird. The backwards, or the back end of the fuselage. That's maybe a better way of expressing it. Okay, so let's see now. We will be taxiing in. The landing was pretty nice, I would say. Well, let's see with the landing rates, and then we'll look at a replay. Oh wait, I need to put this into so I can use the tail wheel to turn. That should make the whole process a bit easier. So we're gonna turn here. We're just gonna park here in front of the main terminal. I think the Buffalo hangar is down there. You can see the Buffalo, but I'm not gonna bother with that today. We'll just go here straight and then just put it down so we can wrap this up. But yeah, beautiful looking airplane. I love the PBR. It really makes the planes look great. Sucks that a lot of developers kind of fizzled out with Prepar3d version 5, and I mean, in that sense it was good that Microsoft Flight Sim came, because, you know, it really made the developers have to like what's it called, rejuvenate themselves. I mean, a lot of them got kind of lazy and just kind of were putting out the same thing without too many updates. So that was a bit unfortunate to be. I think this should be sufficient. We'll just park here. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And I'm gonna just shut the engines by cutting the fuel to them. Not sure that's proper procedures, but hey, we'll do that. So hey, we have reached our destination. I didn't ask for taxi clearance or anything, but yeah, they are, let's assume that they're nice. And we have a nice touchdown, minus 28, so 28 feet per minute landing, according to the Buffalo PyRep, which is now pending. So we're gonna close that. Let's see also what Pack X will tell us. I think what we need to do here is do the seatbelt signs on. Because I don't have this on automatic. Seatbelt signs. I'll just do Shift E. So we open the main one. Now we have the deboarding 134. So a bit higher according to this one. I'm just gonna save that. And what we'll do next is we'll do an instant replay. 280, I think should be sufficient. Let's see. So unfortunately you won't see the propeller spinning, but it is what it is. Seems like there's some lack of oxygen here, probably some mismatch between the Project Max and Orbex. Unfortunately that does happen, or tend to happen with some airports, and you have to tweak it yourself. So here we're coming, full flaps. Slowly coming down. We missed the main, or that's the main touchdown zone, but there perfectly. A bit with the right and left. Small bounces, but nothing too crazy. Could have given it a bit more rudder. I'm using a bit of rudder now, but going a bit to the left. Getting that tail down. Now you're gonna see me use a bit more rudder, I'm presuming. Let's see, maybe it's not mimicked here. So yeah, basically a nice, relatively clean landing. A nice flight with the Airplane Heaven DC-3. I can thoroughly recommend it because it's freeware, so in that sense it's really good. Not the super highest fidelity, but a pretty nice plane overall. If you have any questions on it, if you decide to try it out, let me know. Specifically, like how do you fix the windshield, the rain effects and that sort of stuff. Feel free to reach out with any questions or similar. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.